Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask AfroDaddy. It's the podcast where we answer your questions about life, the universe, and parenting. My name is, of course, AfroDaddy, and I'm joined by, we decided Julie, right?
I felt like that was the name my parents gave me.
That was, yes, because the name...
I'm fairly certain that's on my
Yes, because the name that my parents gave me was AfroDaddy. AfroDaddy Mentor. That's on my birth certificate, on my ID. I can go to other countries on the visa marked AfroDaddy Mentor.
No, hey, it probably opened up many doors for you, my love.
Anyway, we've got our wine. Julie has a wine.
And tea.
And her tea.
Because it's legitimately cold tonight.
It is. We've had our first proper rain for winter, I'm guessing.
And... I know. And it was wonderful, that rain.
Yeah.
It was not wonderful being caught in it, ill-prepared, in between meetings when you're in the middle of a workday. No, I felt so bad because...
So wait, you're saying that you got a little bit damp?
No, sorry.
Are you complaining that you got a little bit damp?
No, it wasn't so I got a bit damp. I bought a pair of shoes.
The whole province is in a drought.
I know.
And Julie Mentor...
Is this not the show where we're honest about our conflicting emotions? Because this is what... So I bought a pair of shoes this weekend.
Right.
Okay, on Saturday. And they're suede, which is a wonderful thing.
Right.
Practical when you're in a drought because...
What's the chance of it getting wet?
Exactly.
Yeah. Are they blue?
No, they're not blue. They're black. But I know where you're going there. I'm just not going to entertain it.
Okay. Sheesh.
They're black and they're pointy and they're very pretty. And now they have both been drenched in muddy rainwater as I got trapped between the mall and my place of work in a wind tunnel in the rain.
Well, that's your fault for not being prepared.
I did not. I mean, it's like Cape Town, right? Is there a chance of rain? Don't get too hopeful. It's probably not going to happen. And then, I left work. Right, here's the crazy thing. I left work and it was cloudy and I was like, okay, cool. I walked to the mall.
Right.
I got to the mall. I did my shopping. It took a bit longer than I was anticipating. I came out. It was pouring and windy.
Okay, so we normally try and start the show off with two positive things from our last 2 weeks, and you have managed to ruin that.
I just needed to tell someone about my shoes.
Julie the Ruiner has taken the one positive part of the show.
Julie the Ruiner. I'm not Julie the Ruiner. That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, it's a terrible thing to ruin the one positive part of the show.
Okay. Restart.
No, we're not going to restart. No, we're not going to restart. No, we started.
It was a very real moment, and I just felt like I didn't get a chance to tell you about it earlier, so I thought I'd tell you about it now.
But you did tell me about it. I
tell
knew.
You about my shoes?
You told me about your stupid shoes.
Did I tell you about my leather handbag?
Yes, you told me about it all. You told me about everything, about the wind tunnel and about how you had to run out quick. You told me everything.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously I didn't feel like you gave me the appropriate response because I had to tell you again.
I grunted in your direction. That's all you need to know. Okay, so... that horrible thing about having slightly wet shoes, which I think no person has ever experienced that level of trauma in their lives in all of human history. That's potentially the worst thing that has ever happened to anyone.
Ignoring your sarcasm once again.
Yeah. Over the last 2 weeks, what's one good thing that's happened? One positive thing.
I never remember whether this has a parenting theme or this is general.
You know what? You go with it. Because parenting and life is so intertwined.
So is this a terrible place for me to plug my new website? Can
I
do that?
You go for it.
Because I'm pretty proud it's gone live after all that work.
It's a very pretty website.
Thank you. It is pretty. Yeah. So I think my positive thing for the last 2 weeks is finally the new Embrace website is live. And putting a website together from scratch is a pretty hectic thing.
Yeah. So, okay, you have to assume that not everyone knows that Julie and Embrace is connected and what Embrace is. You have to kind of give a bit of background, a bit of context.
Okay.
Why is this website so important?
Why is the website so important?
When you say your website, what does that mean?
It's not my website. Yeah. I mean, I was part of building it, but it was not my website.
Okay, what's going on in Embrace?
So Embrace is rebranding itself as a movement for moms in South Africa.
Okay.
And so we needed a website to reflect the kind of mom levels of badassery that we're trying to kind of drive in this country. So yeah, we're really focusing on finding creative ways to provide very real and needed connections for moms in the beginning of their motherhood journey. So, pregnancy, those early years when you're in the trenches, when you need your village, when you need to know you're not alone, when you need to have relationships with women who've been through the experience. Embrace is about mobilizing that in different spaces for women across the country. And we've now got a website that tells you more about it far more succinctly in a way that I just mumbled it.
Yes, yeah. And it's totally worth checking out.
Yeah,
a lot of good resources.
AfroDaddy.
If you want to be a mother supporter,
Yeah.
it's the place to go.
It is.
Very
It
cool.
is indeed.
My positive thing for the last 2 weeks. Well, I mean, I guess I can officially say I'm not sure I mentioned this last episode, but I've started a new job.
You have indeed.
So I've left radio, I've left media, I've left it all behind, and I've started in
You haven't really left that all behind.
I kind of okay. Haven't I?
Haven't you?
Haven't
I don't know.
I?
Did you not do like a TV interview yesterday? Didn't you?
Well, it wasn't a TV. Okay,
Didn't
okay.
you?
I've left radio behind.
Have you?
Well,
No,
the
you
amount
put it on pause.
the amount of messages that I get from my ex-colleagues.
You put it on pause. You put it on pause for now.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future.
Hmm.
But I'm very excited to be at my new position. You know, just follow me on all of the social medias to find out what that's all about. But it's very cool. It's a different industry and lots of really cool people. Some really interesting characters at my new job.
You do not stand out at your new job.
I do not stand out. I have one of the most normal looking hairstyles in the place, but also like the one guy. I'm gonna say his name because no one knows who he is. Phil.
Yeah.
I won't say his whole name. Phil.
Okay.
He's the kind of guy he'll tell this whole news story about
Yeah.
like these two black guys in the States were at Starbucks and they got arrested for no reason and it's horrible, and like he listens to go and in all seriousness and in all sincerity he goes, well, that wasn't right. like, and he's not being facetious.
Yeah.
He's not being stuck, but he's just you know, he's straight to the point, and he gets his job done, and it's cool. It's a whole bunch of really cool guys to work with. So I'm very excited about my new job and my new.
I'm grateful.
place of
Today,
employment.
do you know, can I tell you when I had a gratitude moment for your new job?
Why?
Today when I saw the weather and I saw the traffic coming outside of my place of work.
Yeah.
And I knew it would be hectic, so I had made plans for our neighbor to come and relieve our nanny. And my immediate thought was, oh my goodness, Terrence is going to be home in about 2.5 hours because he's going to be stuck in town traffic.
Yeah.
And then in the same second I had that like, oh, Terrence isn't in town traffic anymore.
So
That's
if you
amazing.
don't live in Cape Town, you might not know that Cape Town has the worst traffic in South Africa,
the worst.
especially work traffic. So
Yeah, it's
so if
pretty
you're
bad.
working in the CBD, to get from the CBD to the southern suburbs, which is really one of the closest large living spaces, can take you upwards of 2 hours. If you live far out and it's a rainy day, and for some reason when it rains, Cape Town drivers,
Because there's basically 2 roads you could take, right?
yeah, it's horribly designed. It's a horribly designed city when it comes to traffic. It was designed to keep people out of the city as opposed to get them in and out easily. Because yay, apartheid. Wow, if people just cut that part out of the show, just cut that part of the podcast. I'm
context
so
is everything.
buggered. Yeah, so if you're not even in Cape Town, you wouldn't maybe necessarily know that getting out of the CBD is like almost impossible on a normal work day. I am now working on the other side of the southern suburbs, also like half the distance. So I'm going against traffic. I'm half the distance. Oh, it's fantastic.
It is indeed.
Okay, are you ready for a whole new feature
Oh dear.
that I have not prepped you for?
No, you have not. I specifically asked you before you went to my phone.
Yeah.
Is there anything I should know?
No, but it's cool because
Okay, what is it? Hit me.
earlier this week I had this idea of starting a hashtag. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Oh, I did see it.
The hashtag is I'm a good parent, but
Mm-hmm.
right now if you think about it, there's a lot of things that we don't get right as parents, you and I specifically, and also parents in general.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean we're not good parents, right? So there's this whole like duality of parenting where I can be a good parent and still mess up sometimes.
Yep.
So over the last 2 weeks, this is kind of the opposite of like the positive story we started with.
Yeah.
What would your hashtag I'm a good parent but be? While you're thinking,
okay.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay, I got one.
Okay,
I mean, there's so
okay.
many.
Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora.
I'm a good parent, but
Mhm.
I told the boys that the TV was broken when I'd had enough of watching Blippi. I switched on remote and hid it away.
And that's a bad. I suppose lying to your kids.
Yeah, it's not ideal to lie to your children, but I just could not listen to that man with the orange hat and glasses.
BLI.
PPI. We should tag him in this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, you're amazing, dude. Seriously, what you do for kids is crazy, but you basically feed them crack.
Yeah.
Crack through the TV screen.
You're crack for toddlers.
I could not listen to you anymore. The garbage truck song is going to be the end of my sanity.
The Halloween song is the worst. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, she's going there.
Just love
No,
Halloween.
stop it. Okay.
Halloween.
Wine break for Terrence.
Okay.
Right. So my
What was yours?
my one was this week. I realized that I ate like 85%.
Don't you have to say the same
Oh, sorry.
sentence, 'cause-
Hashtag I'm a good parent, but this week I realized that I ate like 85% of my kids' Easter chocolate.
Yeah. I saw you finish their knickknacks yesterday as well.
Oh, I also ate their knickknacks. Now, you
Did
see,
you eat both packets?
they were the small packets of knickknacks. Okay, they were the tiny, tiny kiddies snack pack knickknack bags. Okay, they're not made for real men, so I had to have both. Also, it's not fair if I have one kid and not the others.
Oh, okay.
You see,
I see
so
what
it's
you did
about
there.
balance and
Yes,
fairness.
absolutely.
I must say, I don't really feel that guilty. You know what? I give a lot to these guys.
Yeah, they do. They don't need the sugar.
They
really
don't need the sugar.
To
I'm
be
protected
honest,
them.
neither do we.
Well,
We do not need the
well,
sugar.
you know what? It's better for me to have it and get late stage diabetes
Oh
than
my
for them to get early
gosh.
stage diabetes. Right?
No.
Yes, I'm doing it for them. Okay, ready for your first question?
Yes.
This is a question.
Oh,
it's
dear.
a bit of a long one, but stick with
Let's
me.
see
Okay.
how well my concentration does.
okay.
Oh, that does look very long.
Okay, this is from Cara.
Hi, Cara.
Hello, Terrence and Julie. How does she know my real name?
Ah.
I'm an enthusiastic new podcast listener.
Yay!
Yay for Cara. I was told by... Oh, wait, no, let's start from the beginning. We're preparing to adopt, and the one way that I've enjoyed preparing, not being a nesting baby room kind of mommy, clothes-making mommy or pregnant mommy, is to read as much as possible about babies and adoption, especially adoptee stories. I also devour podcasts. It's basically about filling my head with knowledge as a fun way of anticipating our kid and hopefully being more prepared or at least less exposed to helpful or more exposed to helpful areas. I was told by a mom of a 7 or 4-year-old that she got so anxious when the book advice didn't work for her kids or they missed their milestones that in retrospect, it would have been best for her to read no books at all and to rather hang out with real life parents and just relax when her parenting experience was nothing like the books. I think the risk is that one starts to see parenting as a science or skill that if you just knew more, you could do better. And if you're not doing it well, then it's because you don't follow the instructions well enough. And then there's the added layer of all adoption comes with loss. Don't assume if they look fine, they are fine. Don't repeat the parenting mistakes of the previous generation, etc., etc. But I want to read. I'm a researcher by trade. It's my thing. And I imagine it's the kind of my last chance to read before sitting down with the book becomes a long lost luxury. What's your advice? To read or not to read? Are there any specific books you would recommend or not recommend or strongly advise that people not take too seriously?
Cara, you are very insightful.
Jesus.
Yeah. Sounds like you've got this mom thing waxed.
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine.
Next question.
No. That's a very good question. I think there's a difference between those baby milestone books, okay, which I think can be quite problematic. There is knowledge and then there's rule application for children because no two children are the same, right? Especially when you have the second child, you realize like they're not reading the book, right? They don't know that the book says they've got to get their first tooth between 6 and 12 months. What was it, 13 months?
Or they have to walk by a certain time or talk these many words by,
Exactly. So those kind of books, especially like when they try to apply a particular rule, like I think those can lead to anxiety unless you're willing to read them with a pinch of salt and go like, okay,
or they overtly say these are general suggestions. These are on a curve and explain what all that is. But there's a lot of statistical knowledge that you have to, like, as in you have to understand how statistics work to really get a sense of calm.
Yeah.
Cara did say she's a researcher, though, so she would have a better understanding of that sort of thing.
I think the adoption layer is slightly different, and I love that you say that you're reading adult adoptees' experiences. I think that it's kind of something that most adoption agencies don't really push, or it's not really spoken about, and yet it's so important. Like, I mean, who better to learn from adoption than people who were adopted and now can give some perspective looking back? Because, I mean, children at young ages aren't often able to verbalize what they're feeling, but you remember it, right? You remember it, and when you're older, you're able to verbalize it.
You have the words, and also you have the emotional ability to expand on that a bit better.
Definitely read that if you haven't already, but I'm sure you have because you're a researcher. Read The Primal Wound, and the author has completely eluded me, but we'll tag it in the podcast. But The Primal Wound is really powerful. It really speaks about that kind of that trauma that a child has when they're separated from their biological parents at birth or whenever they are, and how that has deep rooted physiological and psychological impact on that child. So definitely read that.
But I think with the bigger idea of when to read, or should you study up, and should you do your research, it also really depends on your personality as to how much. I mean, I think everyone should do a certain level of reading. Like, I don't think you should go into it blind. There's a lot of practical skills that you can save yourself a lot of hardship on if you knowing how to change a nappy, knowing what formula to use, knowing what signs to look out for if your baby's very, very sick or not. Those kinds of things are good to have in the back of your head. Or the back of your mind, rather. But also, like, for instance, I'm more of a go with the flow, kind of do the research on the spot kind of person, whereas you're prepared.
Yeah, I like to research.
You like to go into it with...
think and have have my thoughts... what's the word I'm looking for? Like, have my...
Like, ordered, and you like to know what you're going into.
I like to create a framework for myself that sort of makes sense, and then I apply my own logic and reasoning to that framework. So I think whatever helps you be less anxious is useful. I think, though, the point of advice that her friend made about wishing that she spent more time with other parents going through similar situations, I mean, I don't think it has to be an and or kind of opportunity. I mean, I think that you cannot do this parenting thing alone, in isolation, not even in isolation within your own family unit. You need to actively seek out people who are parents of children of the same ages, or maybe even a little bit further along. And if you are adopting, it does add another level of complexity where you need to seek out parents of children who've adopted, as well as if you're adopting across racial lines, which most parents do in South Africa. You need to be seeking out adults of the same race group as the child you're adopting.
Because if you haven't been adopted yourself, and if you're not of a certain race, there's a whole world of context that you don't have.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you could even go, okay, I remember how my parents did it and what my context was like, and I'll just apply it to my kids. That doesn't work with adoption, where that kind of does work with biological kids.
Yes, absolutely. Or even adoption within the same race group.
Some extent.
To some extent. But I mean, the cross-racial adoption is huge.
Yeah, very complex.
Huge. And Cara, I don't know what race you are, but I'm going to assume... No, not assume. I should not assume.
Because you just have a name.
There you go. Just have a name. Okay. If you are white and adopting a child of color in South Africa, you cannot prepare yourself enough, and the best preparation is listening. Listening.
Sorry.
But seriously, it is. It's about coming in, even if the things make you feel uncomfortable. And oh my goodness, I've never felt more uncomfortable in my life than since we adopted Liam. But that.
Not even with my coloured aunties.
No, not even with your coloured aunties.
The one with the long nails.
I'm not even with her.
You know the one I'm talking about.
I know, and I love her. I've grown very fond of her. But yeah, you need to you're going to be uncomfortable, but that discomfort refines you. And now it's like you can't unsee what you now see. But I do think at least I'm hoping that, our child benefits from that.
Yeah.
My parent better.
I think finally when it comes to like the reading or not reading, which is like the real crux of your question, in the same way that I wouldn't, or I try not to make a parent feel guilty for not reading up enough, I would also try not to make a parent feel guilty for reading up a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're a researcher, you know where to get the best information, you know that you think critically. Now, obviously, if someone came to me and said, "Oh, I read this book and it was about how you can, raise your children on tea leaves alone," then I'd be like, "Dude, you're an idiot. You need to think critically." but since you are a researcher and you know that you can think critically and you've obviously been trained in that way, I would say read as much as you can.
Absolutely.
And you're right. You're not going to have a lot of time when baby arrives.
I miss reading.
To just read. I mean, it's only been like now.
Yeah, I literally got you to install a bedside lamp because my bedside lamp.
Like last week.
My bedside lamp ceased how many years ago? I can't even remember. The bulb went, and I never replaced it because what did I have any need for reading?
Well, it was always off
at night
because the boys had to be sleeping
in the dark room, and now we have a nightlight and I've picked up a very frivolous novel and it's wonderful.
Well,
actually, the novel's awful.
the novel's
but
awful.
the concept that I'm able to read it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay, cool. Are you ready for the next question?
Okay.
Okay. This one is from Jared.
Hey, Jared.
A bro. Well, it's not my bro. He's just...
A bro.
I'm sure he's someone's bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced real grief or depression after a family vacation?
Ooh. No. Have you?
I think you have.
Grief or depression after a family vacation?
I mean, maybe those words are too strong.
Like, are we talking about post-holiday blues?
Yeah.
Because you're missing a family?
You definitely get bummed when we've come home from the few times we've come home from a successful holiday where you're like, oh, no. And especially
are
like
we
the
talking
day.
about a holiday? Oh, I'm thinking that we're talking about it like the context of you've gone away with extended family that you don't see very often, or
No,
family.
it's just saying, well, after a family vacation.
Oh,
So it's like with your
yes.
family.
Okay. Yeah. I must say, like, we live very busy lives.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to argue.
yeah. And so when we get to carve out some time for ourselves, I think part of like what makes it special is that we've made the effort. And we try, because we know it's only such a limited amount of time, I think we try to be a bit more intentional with our family time, paying more attention to the boys, to get like to, in terms of, I think we pay pretty good attention to our children, but to get down into the sand with them or be in the ocean with them. And it's you can't get away from that intentional family time that those holiday environments.
I'm so sorry about the loud cars we have around.
We have very loud cars going down our road. You can't get away from the memories and the joy that does happen from that sort of intense opportunity to connect. And I do miss that. Yeah.
I must say I
what
don't.
Do you think? No.
I don't at all. Like I don't think there's ever been a time when I haven't been happy just to get home and be in my own space. Like no matter how good the holiday has been, I've especially when we've gone away with the boys or gone away with family. It's just, you're uncomfortable. You're not in your space. You're going away with toddlers. I mean, when have we gone away when it hasn't been a relief just to be home because you knew where everything was. We didn't have to make a special plan. Liam wasn't sleeping in our room awkwardly and we had to like tiptoe around. When was the last time that actually happened?
Yeah, I must say that's kind of the one thing that we were talking about now. I mean, at this stage, you've just started a new job, so not ideal. But I'm I'm in a very busy period at the moment. And I'm quite desperate for some time away. And I think there is some truth to what you've said. I mean, I still think that the good for the most part, especially the last few holidays, now that the kids actually travel well, have been pretty good. But I must say, I'm like,
really?
I know, I think so.
Really?
The holiday trip with your family to, where did we go? Claremont? No, not Claremont. Where were we? Yeah? Was that where we were? Not Claremont. Where were we? Onrus? That was really nice.
The one where both boys were sick.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were. They were sick. Eli was very sick and miserable.
Was he?
And they slept in the same room as we did.
Yeah.
And we only had a bucket to clean Eli in, so we had to like.
What? No, you're talking about the wrong holiday.
Which one are you talking about?
The one with your family.
That's the one I was. That's the one.
There wasn't a bucket.
We had to clean Eli in the.
No, you're getting confused.
You're getting confused.
Babe, the one at the nice house, the double-story house with the walk down.
Yes.
There was no bucket. We had an ensuite bathroom with a bath. What are you talking about?
No, we did not.
Babe.
I have a photo of Eli.
I will tell you the photo you're talking about.
Yes.
The Houston holiday with my folks where we bathed them in the bucket.
That was not Houston. I guarantee you.
Babe. It was Houston.
It wasn't Houston.
We're going to just edit this whole part out.
No, we're not going to. No, because I'm right and you are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So you don't remember the ensuite bathroom in the master suite that we had where we bought the boy. Oh, what? Look at that face. No, you guys can't see it, but let's put it this way. You walked in the door, there were cupboards on the left, and the ensuite bathroom on the right. And then our bed, and a little around the corner was a study nook where we put Liam in his cot.
Okay, so, but the point is...
But what was the... Wait, hold on. Backtrack.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What was the point about the bucket in the bath? Where was that bucket?
It was on a family holiday.
But was it on the one I'm talking about? That was referring to the nice one.
The point was we had a family holiday where we had to clean our kid in a bucket at the base of a shower.
That was at another family holiday.
Yeah.
Which we didn't pay for. Which
Eli-
is why we compromised the bucket for the free accommodation.
And that one as well, we had a tiny room that all four of us had to stay in.
Which one are you talking
The Horston one.
No. 3 of us stayed in it because Zaz and Liam shared a room.
Yeah,
you are not remembering details.
Okay, look, we could argue about this.
We should not. This is a very boring podcast.
We could argue about this a lot more. But the fact is that
there was no bucket in.
There was a bucket. No, the fact is that every holiday we've been to since we've had the boys, it's been uncomfortable.
I don't.
Since we've had both boys, when it was just Liam, it was fine because
I disagree.
Okay,
for you, it was a little bit uncomfortable for you. I don't think it was uncomfortable for me.
Are you telling me that you were totally happy and comfortable? Because I can guarantee you, if we flash back to those times, I can find you complaining about something.
No.
Yes.
Anyway, the point of what I was going to make is that planning forward, I think you have to be realistic about your expectations of holidaying with toddlers.
Yeah, no, I am realistic. My realism means that when you have a bee in your bonnet that you want to go away for a weekend or for a couple of days, I know, this is my thought process. This is going to be like a really, really difficult couple of days, but I'm going to suck it up and get through this, and then I'll be back home in 3 days' time.
You are not an adventurer.
No. It's not that I'm not an adventurer. It's that I know what's coming. So I go, okay, in 3 days' time, I'll be back here, and everything will be fine. And then I'm there for like a night, and I'm like, okay, 2 days' time. In 2 days' time, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be back home in my own space with my TV.
I think you keep talking about your own space thing. I think it's an introvert thing.
No. It's the fact that our kids are crazy and they are exhausting. Okay, before we get to our last question, the would you rather for the week.
Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward one. Kind of relates back to my first story. So it is, would you rather be forced to wear wet socks for the rest of your life or only be allowed to wash your hair once a year?
Wet socks are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Wet socks are really bad.
They are bad.
So like...
Do you see my reference back? Because I had wet shoes today.
Yes, I get
They were suede.
Yeah.
They are no longer suede.
Okay.
Just
so wet socks are pretty bad.
They are bad.
And they're bad for your feet as well. Like you get really bad rashes if you have wet socks.
I didn't think about the rash component.
Hey, if you have wet socks for too long a period. Not
washing your hair for only once a year.
Yeah, but then I get Kef dreadlocks.
Oh, yuck.
If you are someone who has dreadlocks, my wife does not think your hair is yuck. Actually, no, she does. My wife thinks any hair that's not hers is yucky.
Oh my goodness, that is not even remotely true. You're editing this out.
I'm not editing. You literally said yuck.
No, for you.
Oh, right.
Because
okay.
and also people with dreadlocks.
Why?
People with dreadlocks wash their hair.
Okay.
Your dreadlocks would be because you didn't wash your hair. It would be dreadlock effect from not washing your hair. That feels gross.
But should we wash our hair?
So this is an interesting thing because here I'm being very conflicted with this one because I actually I thought, okay, I could deal with wet socks. Like I would get used to that, but I didn't think about what that might do to the skin of my feet.
Yeah.
So, and then, the idea of not washing my hair for like more than 4 days freaks me out in the biggest way.
Even though you shouldn't be washing your hair.
But I know.
Your hair is natural oils.
But if you don't wash your hair, then apparently your hair doesn't get oily. After a while, it pushes through the oily phase, reabsorbs the oil, and your hair
it's like thicker and lusher and more beautiful.
But to get there would kill me.
How long?
I don't know. Because there's this whole we're a no poo family. We don't believe in shampoo. We're no poo free.
Also, my wife isn't making fun of people who have that thought process.
No, I'm not. I'm just like, but this is what these people say. I'm a no poo person.
Yeah, okay.
I might just say no shampoo because poo is a very different thing and it's not funny.
Yes, no, that is pretty lame. You're right. Now, okay, but the question is,
what would you choose?
What would you choose?
I'm asking you.
I would rather not clean my hair for a year.
A year.
Easily. I could easily not clean my hair for a year.
Okay, but you've got dry hair.
Okay.
So that probably would do, you wouldn't notice it as much. You wldn't notice if your hair was dirty.
I just shave my hair off.
Okay, also an option for you. Hashtag male privilege.
Oh, really? Because women can't shave
No, they
hair.
can, but it does not have the same. It's not as societally acceptable.
I see a lot of women with shaved heads, and no one gives them grief.
That is absolutely not true.
Well,
of course, they get them grief. They're labeled as.
Do you think I don't get labeled about my hair?
Yes,
and by the way,
you do get labeled by your hair.
And by the way,
right.
you give into the patriarchy by not shaving your head and by keeping your hair the standards that the patriarchy has told you that you must have your hair long. Yeah. So welcome.
Are you victim blaming?
How are you the victim?
Shaming.
Really? Has anyone made you make your hair like that?
There are standards of beauty associated with women and their hair. It is problematic on many layers. Anyway.
I think you look quite cute with shaved hair. Like a pixie haircut.
Shaved hair or pixie haircut. They're two different things.
Well, a pixie. I mean, it's not that much that much longer than them. Because you have cute ears.
Yeah, but I think I would have ugly shaved head.
You do come from a family of large-headed people.
I do. No, I do.
I see how diplomatically I put that.
I know.
That was very sweet, wasn't it?
Kind of. You lost. Okay, so you're good, no poo.
I'd go no cleaning my hair for a year.
I am wondering whether, do I have to wear socks that are wet every day, or is it
whenever you wear
socks? Whenever I wear socks, they're wet?
I'm gonna go with whenever you wear socks, they are wet.
Because so far, I must say, I wear a lot of sandals. I think I would just get around it, and I think I'd go with the socks.
Yeah,
that are wet when I wear socks.
Well, you see, women privilege is that you can wear a lot of sandals and open-toed shoes and stuff.
True.
Which I can't.
True.
So
they are making more manly sandally things now.
Oh no, they're awful.
Those leather ones.
No, oh no, they're terrible.
My brother has a pair. They're pretty cute. No. Okay.
Which brother?
Peter.
Don't say his name out loud.
Whoops.
Thanks.
Brother who shall not be named.
You could just have given me a symbol or something. Come on. Okay, cool. You ready for your last question?
The absolute last one. Let's go.
Okay, so I would definitely just not clean my hair for a year.
And I would go with the wet socks, but I would not wear socks very often.
See, that's the thing. That's a workaround. Okay, a good friend of mine is having her first baby. Yay! Oh, sorry. This is from Sharon. I don't think it's the Sharon we know, or any of the Sharons we know. A good friend of mine is having her first baby. I already have plans for a shower gift. I'm hand making some toys, and we'll probably cook up a freezer meal or two that I can give to her before the baby is born. That way I'm not barging over to drop off food the first week. But I also want to do something for her and maybe her husband. Hey, there's a new person about to invade your life, but you're still important too. Here's some stuff to remind you that you're still a human kind of gift. I know most people suggest stuff like, I just want someone to hold the baby so I could shower, or I just wanted someone to do the dishes. Both husband and wife have parents that live nearby, so I'm not sure if they'll have those problems. I'm fairly confident both new grandmas will be there almost every day. With all that said, what things did you appreciate being gifted that helped you feel like a person? Neither her nor I have a spa day or get our nails done type of woman, by the way. Anyway, just looking to do something nice for a friend.
What a great friend you are, Sharon.
I was like,
you could be my
Sharon,
friend.
Please be my friend.
You could be my friend. That's great. I love that you're thinking about that. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that Sharon's doing right, like planning meals, but also not barging in, knowing that first week is going to be really hectic. So planning meals before the time.
Remembering that the parents are people outside of the parents. And
hand making toys.
I know. Flip Sharon. Are you real? Are you an angel?
Yeah, Sharon.
Showing up the rest of us. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's one of the big things about becoming a new mom is that you're going through this, and I'm saying new mom from my perspective, but new parents, you're going through this huge transformational experience physically. And when the baby's born, the attention for 99.9% of it goes to the needs and wants of the baby. And let's be real, the baby is mostly the main attraction. People want to come and see, your precious new baby, which is flattering and wonderful. But I think it really is lovely to say, you know what, I just want to acknowledge that you've been through this incredible experience. Not only have you birthed a child, but you've also become a mom.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
It's huge.
It's like a big deal.
Parent.
It's a big deal for you.
Yeah. What are the things? I mean, I'm trying to think. I can't even. It's been a long time. This is the downside of being a parent.
2.5 years is a long time.
That was the last time we had a newborn. I mean, so something like maybe before the baby comes, like a last date night opportunity, a meal voucher to go out, movie tickets.
Although I think this is specifically after the baby arrives.
Okay, so then you got to be practical because getting out of the house is
not going to be great.
Difficult, and then you kind of feel guilty because you know you want to do this thing, but you've got a baby, and then
it has to be responsibility free.
What would be the kinds of things? Because they're not into pamper things, because that would be like a great suggestion. I'm trying to think. Do you have any ideas?
Well, I wasn't really spoiled at all with either of our kids. I mean, you got baby showers with both. You got a great baby shower with Liam.
With both boys.
With both boys, yeah. Especially with just before we formally adopted Liam. I got nothing really. I wasn't really. I mean, and again, that's a bigger conversation.
Yeah, that's a bigger.
Why fathers aren't
you didn't get nothing.
celebrate.
I organized something for you.
What did you organize for me?
You were the one out of the two of us that got the massage and the pregnancy and the spa thing and the breakfast.
Yes, that's right.
Mine didn't happen because our son came prematurely.
Yes, that's right. No, you did organize that for me. That was very nice. But I'm thinking after the baby arrived, after we formally adopted Liam and after Eli arrived, I didn't really get anything. And that is a bigger conversation. Like, why don't we celebrate dads in those early moments? But what would I have liked? Other than the please just do the basics for us, like guilt-free. And can I just say, that is actually sometimes more of a hindrance. Like having people in your space, showing them where to like pack the dishes away. Yeah. It's sometimes more of a less, more of a pain.
Depends on your personality as well.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like only like one or two either you need to be like, it sounds terrible, but like someone outsourced to come and do the dishes where I don't feel like embarrassed that you've seen the fact that all the dishes are piled up because I'm so exhausted. Or you need to be my mom or my mom-in-law. Yeah. Like, but if you're a friend, and I don't want you to see that mess.
And even then, with our moms, there's even just a little bit of a like, I don't want you to be like ashamed that your son or your daughter is living like this, you know.
We weren't that bad.
Yeah, man, what would I have liked? I mean, look, honestly, what I would have liked more than anything is for someone just to be like, dude, you're doing okay. Like, you're doing fine. You're doing well. You've got this. You're doing great. Your child is great. Your wife appreciates you. She might not be able to like verbalize it right now, but I can see it in her eyes. She really does appreciate you. Because you miss all that stuff. This would have also been great. We didn't take enough photos in this early week. You know, not a photo shoot, just like a couple of cell phone photos. If you are of the photographer type, that would be nice too. Like a few candid photos of those first week or two would have been pretty cool for both boys. I mean, think about it. We can't even remember what we were going through at that time.
Yeah.
What else would you have liked, or what did you like? Was there anything that people?
I had lots of friends checking up on me, I must say. I mean, I've got a culture of that kind of relationship with a lot of my friends, which I'm really fortunate about. But I mean, that's kind of, we all do that for each other. So
yeah, but like what, like a physical gift? Like let's say,
so like when we had a meal roster for 3 weeks,
which was fantastic.
So I think that was just so practical because cooking, especially then when Liam, when we had a toddler at home, and
a new baby,
not having to worry about that. Especially the friends who packed like snacks for him, you know, and for us, like that was really appreciated. Hey?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the food did help.
Other than that, I think I remember one friend bought me in a really great novel. And that time, when I was just nursing around the clock, I did have time to read. And that was a wonderful gift.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than that, I'm drawing a blank.
I think food was just like snacks and like calling in and saying, "Hey, do you need groceries? Like, do you have bread and milk? You know, can I bring like." Just like drop off. I don't want to see the baby. Like this is what I think a lot of people also do. This like, I don't want to come in. I don't want to see the baby. Can I just drop off X?
Yeah,
that was really appreciated. So you don't feel like you have to host and all. Like, I think overtly going exactly what you're saying, Sharon. I'm here for you. You to me, like the child is great. The child is important, but you are the most important.
Absolutely.
To me, having people like that in your life is like, sounds super cheesy, but the greatest gift of all.
Yeah, that was really
That was cheesy. I heard it in my head and I knew I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have gone there. But yeah, Sharon. It was Sharon, right? This was Sharon. Sharon, you're definitely on the right track. And maybe just ask her. Like, tell her, look, I have X amount to spend. Or I not X amount to spend, but like, what do you need? Because like, you also don't want to assume, because like she might not need a novel. Like, maybe you're saying that she doesn't need a manicure or pedicure, but maybe she needs creams.
I mean, if she's the kind of friend to be self-assured enough to answer that honestly.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, she might not be. For me, I would have said, "Oh, I need nothing. Don't worry about it." But honestly, I remember there were 1 or 2 times when friends dropped off a bag of like a few meals for the freezer and like some delicious chocolate and chips. Just like and I was like, I didn't need that, but I'm so grateful for it. And if you'd asked me, I would have been sheepish, but since it's here, I feel like I can accept it and be really grateful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe. Also, it's great that you're thinking about the husband as well. Like, just checking in. I think just checking in on people, giving a message or a call, and with no responsibility added to it, with no like...
even with a disclaimer that says, please don't feel like you have to reply to this message.
Exactly, yeah.
But just know that I'm thinking of you.
And if you need because I also know that you get a lot of... if you do come from a big group of friends, or you do have a big family, when you have a baby, you get inundated with messages saying, whatever you need, we're here for you. Whatever you need, and it's actually quite overwhelming. You know you need help, but you don't know like who should you go to and how should you like triage all of this help. So just to go, hey, I'm bringing food for you this time, or this is in the cup, this is in your freezer, this is how you cook it. Give me a call when you need. My phone's always available for you. But if not, no worries. I'll like let me know when I can see you or whatever. That's really great. And I think, I mean, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong because I've never been a mother. But there's also, it can be quite a lonely period. That first like 2 or 3 weeks. You've been in the hospital for 3 days if everything's gone well, 3 or 4 days, and there's a lot of activity and people are visiting you and you have nurses helping out the whole time, and then you come home and your husband goes back to work probably, and now it's just you and this little tiny human.
Yeah.
Seems like quite a hectic thing. Like maybe also to...
Yeah, I think pop-ins, if it's like, do you want some company? Can I sign you up for a Netflix subscription?
Yeah.
These are all great, great options.
Yeah. But Sharon, you're a great friend.
You are indeed. You can be my friend.
Please be our friend.
Add me on Facebook.
Yeah. Find us. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Ask AfroDaddy. Julie, where can people get hold of me and you and get involved with this podcast?
I was about to say, you asked me, but they're wanting to get hold of you. You can go to Ask AfroDaddy, the podcast. And you can go to AfroDaddyOnline.com.
Okay.
And you can inbox you there.
Yes.
Yeah. You can go to Facebook, AfroDaddy CT.
Nice.
Send an inbox message. There's a Gmail account, but I don't even know what it is.
AfroDaddy CT.
There we go.
At gmail.com.
You can do that if you want to be old school.
Yeah. Most importantly,
should I add your cell phone number on?
If you don't want me getting phone calls from strange people. Are you getting that phone calls from strange people? Mostly your family. That was a joke. Your family's the best. Tops. The best in-laws I've ever had. Most importantly, though, please subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe on iTunes or whatever Android application that you might be listening to this, and rate it and share it and tell other people about it, because that way more people get to ask questions and we get to answer them and argue over stupid where did we go for what kid at what time and what holiday. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We will catch you in about 2 weeks' time if all goes well. AfroDaddy and Julie out.
Bye.